Hi everyone, I'm John from Basjoo Gardening Services. Here's a quick garden design principle. By selecting a few different species of plant, you create continuity in your space and it creates a relaxing environment to be in. So fewer species, multiple of those plants, so the same plants, for example, if you've got a geranium, multiple geraniums, or crocosmia, or mountain cornflower, or daylilies, having multiple of them, and therefore creating greater continuity in your space, which both relaxes the eye and creates a more relaxing environment to be in. And the good news is, now's a great time to divide your herbaceous perennials. So herbaceous, meaning of a leafy type stem, and perennials meaning that they come back year after year. So in the winter months they die off, they either go brown or it just turns into bare soil. And then subsequently in the spring you'll start to see those green shoots and the plant come back to life. It improves the health of the plant, it creates more plants in your garden, and creates continuity by dividing your herbaceous perennials now and therefore creating more of them. So if your borders contain more weeds than plants, or you're finding that your herbaceous perennials are starting to hollow out, so they're starting to look more like a halo than a circle that's filled, now is a great time to start dividing those perennials. Okay, so less talking, more action. I've got my gloves on, I've got my spade ready, and we've got some down here, we've got some crocosmia. Crocosmia, as I mentioned before, is a herbaceous perennial. It's got a leafy stem to it and it dies back every year. Now crocosmia is a lovely plant. It's got a nice orange or red flower to it, and at this time of year, as I mentioned before, it's a great time to dig it up and divide it. Okay, so I'm simply going to identify somewhere in the plant that I want to cut it, and I'm just literally going to drive the spade in and start to dig it out. And there we go, a plant ready to go in the ground. Now I could divide this further. It's got lots of individual roots and rhizomes and bulbs and tubers, so I can separate that and plant it up in multiple places in the garden. Okay, so I backfilled the hole from where I took the plant out, and now I've picked a site that we're going to put it into. So I'm just going to dig a hole, put the crocosmia in, and then just cover it with a bit more surrounding soil, and I'm just going to water it in, so it's got a bit of water to get it started. At this time of year, in the winter months and early spring, we tend to have quite a lot of rainfall anyway in the UK, so it won't need that regular watering. However, if where you are or the climate or the weather at the moment is particularly dry, do make sure any plants that you transplant, that you transfer, that you divide, that you water them well. Obviously the hotter the time of the year, the more it commands from you to get it watered in. If you were, for example, laying a new lawn the first couple of weeks, or if you were moving a shrub, for example, the first couple of weeks are critical, and I would always encourage you to water plants towards the end of the day at dusk. Okay, just backfilling it now. And now we'll give it a quick water. So I'm going to be quite generous with the watering. This particular plant is quite hardy, I'm not going to be too in danger of drowning it, and it will certainly support it for the first few days whilst it's finding its feet, and any disruption it's experienced when transplanting it. Okay, so that was Crocosmia. I'm also thinking that I'm going to do some geranium just here next to the spade, and possibly some fern. All the same principle. The fern tend to be a bit tougher to get the spade through, but prepare yourself, use a bit more force and you will get there. Things like bamboo also tend to be a lot harder to get through, and for jobs like that you might need to upgrade from the common spade to things like a bow saw, or a reciprocating saw if you've got power tools to hand, and they will help you get through any of the rhizomes and roots and those plants that are particularly tougher to get to. As a professional that specialises in garden maintenance, I can also testify that a traditional mattock can provide a lot of help when it comes to breaking through plants and trying to divide them too. Okay, if you've liked this particular video, do please like and subscribe to the channel. It's really helpful for me. And if you're in Lichfield district or Staffordshire in the UK, even the West Midlands, and you need some help in your garden, my name's John from Basjoo Gardening Services. Feel free to get in touch, and there's links in the description. Thank you. Bye for now.